Well, they eventually hooked this engine to the shingle knife and used it to work the shingle knife frame up and down.
Did they still have this big tree and all that hooked up to it when they went to the
they'd go out and cut trees and split it, quarter it up.
I mean, though, the big tree trunk and all that, and the tree that bent over to make this to pull this knife down. When they went to the gasoline engine instead of the mule, did they do away with all of that?
Yeah, they done away with all of that. And they had a big tank, water tank. They had to go to Malvern and have them tanks made. And when one would go bad, and they'd fill that thing about half full of them blocks of wood. Never did cut nothing but pine. And they'd build a fire in the furnace under that tank and get that water to boiling, and they'd boil it for, well, until these blocks, the bark on it, would come off. Some of them, they had a spike that they'd job in this block and bring it out on a platform, and when they'd drop that thing on it, that bark would just shed off of it. And it was ready to put on this knife, and the guy had to stand there and he'd push this side under, and he'd cut a thin end and a thick end shingle, and then he'd every other one would just reverse until they'd cut that whole block up into shingles down to a little bitty piece that wasn't big enough for a shingle.
I meant to ask you a while ago when we was talking about the grist mill and the shingle knife mill. I didn't talk to you about where he had those set up. He had them under a shed.
Yeah, they was inside of a building. Well, this grist mill was a complete building, walled up, roof and everything. And the shingle mill was just a big shed over all of it.
Well, where were they at? Where did they have them set up?
Down in the pasture there below that barn. You know where the old barn is.
Uh-huh.
Well, right down below it. Oh, I don't know. I guess it was 200 or 300 feet down there. There was a branch down there.
Kind of between the store and the barn, but back further into the field?
Yeah. They got water out of holes in that branch until they dug a well down there for that shingle mill. And I remember that gas tank on that engine got a leak in it. And there was gas soaked in the ground and come in that well. And I remember they throwed a match in there one day, and that gas caught a fire and burned for the longest in that well.
Huh.
But I remember they had little seats to sit on by what they call balers to stack them shingles in. They'd stack them 25 high, and I don't remember. Seemed to me like they were 16 or 18 inches wide. Anyway, there was 200 shingles to the bale. It had taken 5 of them to make 1,000 shingles. And 5 bales of shingles would cost $2 or $3. If they was hard shingles, they cost $4 or $5 for 1,000. And 5 bales of them would cover a 10-foot square place in the roof.